sunlight blinds us. So could it be that, it's not to say that these institutions are not powerful, they certainly are, but there's always the other side, there's always the lunar side. And this is now what I'm investigating.
Side, right.
Yes, exactly. Because look, all the popes in Rome have short hair. I mean, these are very trivial things, but I look for these things. They have the usual monkish haircut or the very short hair. Merovingians in France and in Germany, ancient peoples whose actual order, the Templars, even put popes on the throne. Well, hang on a minute. But the Merovingian kings all had long hair, just like the Sikhs of northern India and various other groups like the Druids. They had kept their hair long. So why are they keeping their hair long? Why do the potentates wear the flowing robes? And where is this female symbolism absolutely ubiquitous throughout all of the churches, cathedrals, and what have you?
Why do they dress like girls? Exactly right.
Why do they do that? And then you say, well, wait a minute. Then they have this cult of the Virgin Mary, and you go, okay, let's check that out for a minute. And then this whole other avenue opens up, and you start seeing that. Hang on a minute. Could it be then that these? And by the way, that there's been writers who've shown deep connections between the Templars. And by the way, that also includes a group known as the Cistercians. The Cistercians and Templars are identical. One is the military wing, and the Cistercians are the monastic wing. Well, there's authors that have shown that the Cistercian order is almost identical to the information that we now know about the ancient Essenes, who are meant to be Jewish, although we don't really know that for sure, and also a group called the Mandaeans, this cult of the Mandaeans that's almost practically extinct. But then they add this incredibly interesting anecdote. And that is that the Mandaeans and the Essenes and various other these groups didn't worship Jesus. They, on the contrary, worshiped John the Baptist. But then as you go further and start discovering that the Baptist symbol isn't normally associated with any type of male figure, that's a load of bogus nonsense. It's actually associated with the female anointer, Jean. In the French, John is Jean, which is Jean, right? So now we have this thing going, where you start to maybe, and I'm cutting the story short here, but these Templar types, again, we're talking about the esoteric branch now. These esoteric branches, and I don't care if you're Masonic or you're Knights Templar or whatever you are, they appear to be worshipping an externally masculine-looking creature, deity, God King, what have you. But that God King, and by the way, this was even pointed out in the Da Vinci Code, of the incredible feminine features of Jesus and John. In fact, they show that Da Vinci, doesn't that movie entirely revolve around that famous painting by Leonardo da Vinci? And the whole point is that Mary Magdalene is made to look like a male disciple, but in fact it's a woman with red hair sitting there. So they're even admitting this themselves. So when you pick up that piece, don't let it go. Pick that piece up and follow it and find out that, is it true that these Templars then were using, to keep the world happy and to keep the papacy happy, the more extremist, masculine atomists, but they had dipped into too much Druidism. While they were in France, did you know that Godfrey de Bouillon and the head of the Cistercians, both with their Irish origins, this guy called Bernard de Clairvaux, had all been educated by Chaldean monks from Ireland, and those Chaldean monks were sifting through all the records and the traditions of the Druids that they had slaughtered. So this esoteric branch has got one foot very much in the normal Christian, Judaic almost, if you will, background, because Troyes in France and Burgundy, where these Knights Templars came from, had some of the largest Jewish communities dating back as far as the 10th century. So they had their one foot in this old paganistic, old Judaism and Christianity, proto-Christianity. And then they had one foot in the neo-paganism, which later became the Christianity, coming out of the Irish Chaldeans. So that's why you see all the symbolism. So then when you look at all of this, that's why they have their hair long. That's why they refer to themselves as the long-haired kings. That's why they worship the severed, bearded head. It's not because the severed head is it is not to do with actually a physical event in which John the Baptist's head was cut off. It had to do with the taking of power from one source and transferring it to another. The severed head, or the severed column, or the fallen pyramid, or what have you, all this Masonic symbolism, is simply a representative. Is a simple metaphor for the transference of great power from one figurehead, one grandmaster, to the other. But the point I'm getting to is this. Why did they make it that it was a Salome figure, right, female figure, just in the same way you have with the Liliths and the Eve and the Delilahs and what have you? Why did they create the story? Why did the mythmongers include that the cutting of the head and the transference of power was under the auspices of a female? And so there is that trail of the symbolism again, showing something that's a little bit, the recurrent motifs. So the upshot of all of this is that although on the surface, for the public view, for the outer courts, to which many of these even highbrows belong, not all of them are initiated into what we're talking about. These people do believe they're worshipping Akhenaton, they're worshipping his descendants, they're involved with solar cult worship and what have you, and that's fine and dandy because the sun has always played a central role in all of this worship from the dawn of time. It's not going to go away, and it's just part of it. It's just part of it. But then you also start seeing the symbols of the crescent moon, the long hair, the star, the five-pointed pentagram, and that wait till you see what we've got. I mean, we're going to be showing stuff that's really mind-boggling here about this symbolism is not just so strictly solar. Why do we end prayers with Amen? This kind of thing. So there's another workings here. There's another workings behind the bigger cause. And the very fact that you have this, as I said, the chairs of power, the seat of power, the rhetoric, why is there a Statue of Liberty? Why is the whole of America, and should we say the American experiment, under the shadow of a female statue that is not only embodies a lot of sacred geometry, but it's actually based on an ancient goddess from Egypt called Seshet, right? What's that all about? Why do we have, the portals of the doorways and so on? And why do we have these strange secret society anecdotes? If you walk into the Knights of Malta headquarters in Rome, in their main hall, this vast building, the only painting that they have there is that beheading of John the Baptist. So most exoteric research, because we proved it. We can tell you all about that. We've written books telling you that they're not worshipping Jesus, they're worshipping John the Baptist. That's why they got that there. And the Templars are just having a red laugh. Fantastic, brilliant. Because the whole symbolism hasn't been cracked yet. That John the Baptist never existed as a person any more than Jesus did in the way presented in the Bible, right? These are themselves stand-ins for something else. The symbolism is right in front of you. And you can't
these figures, Jesus and John the Baptist, may well just be allegories in themselves.
They were. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not discounting the work of Ralph Ellis and others who have targeted a male Jesus, but that's not what we're talking about. I'm saying that as were presented in the Bible for hundreds of years, those Johns and Moseses and John the Baptist are certainly not the same. If a Ralph Ellis or a Tony Spruce-Bee, they said, but Michael, I have discovered, the physical, a more historical. I'm with them. They're my colleagues. I totally have used their work in my books and mentioned it time and time again. And I'm all for that. If you find a biographical character, but that biographical character, you admit yourself, is not the one as presented in the Bible. Far from it. You just use the Bible like I do as a backdrop, as a certain,